Good morning from a very cold and beautiful Cape Town morning, as you can see. I'm on the road to Royals here. For those of you know the past Gordons Bay, I'm taking a bit of a scenic drive. And yeah, now's the time to do a bit of a wash up for the Lions tour. So, yeah, what can we say? Let the cars go by. What an epic tour. A tour that should never probably happen, a tour that should have probably been postponed by a year, a tour that's amazing that they got to get to the point that it's completed. A tour that really has been exceptional in so many ways. And a tour, and I suppose in the tour that we have to look back on for not the best rugby in the Test series, but a totally enthralling series it was. We had the Provincial games, which really didn't do the Lions very much justice in terms, and we didn't give them much opposition. There wasn't really much of a highlight there. They missed the Bulls game, which I think would have been very interesting to see Jake White and Johan Goosen and Cornel Hendricks and those guys play the Lions. But so be it. It didn't happen. The Bulls got their win over SAA. It shows the Springboks probably need a little bit of work on their depth, and I think we're going to probably see that in the next 2 weeks against Argentina. There'll probably be a lot more of the fringe players playing now that the series has been won and going in, and the team will get a bit of a rest, which is good because you need to get that get the depth up in the squad. So yeah, but looking at the Test series, I mean, if you look at that first Test, the Lions were exceptional in that first Test. There was a lot of bad calls. Rossi made a very long video, which we won't get into now, because I think everything's been said about that video that could be said about it. Warren Gatland had his say in influencing Marius Jonker. I still do think Marius Jonker was influenced to some extent. But saying that, the Lions were still, to me, deserved winners of that first Test. The Boks faltered in the air. The Lions won the aerial battle, and the Boks made some bad mistakes, and the Lions made them pay for it. The Lions pack grew in that first Test. I thought Morrow Toje and Courtney Laws probably played their best games I've seen them play on a rugby field. Both exceptional players. But then the Boks stormed back in that second Test, and you look at that. The second half again in that second Test, the Boks were exceptional. They built the scoreboard pressure. They got their scrum right. They got their line-out drive right. They got a lot of things right, which I don't think we expected them to get right that quickly. And when they did, they took control. So they were deserved winners of that second Test. And did Rossi's thing play a part? I'm not quite sure. The British journalists and my colleagues over there like to talk about Cheslin's incident in the air. That could have been a red card. Fair enough. Technically, I don't think it was a red card. I think he was very lucky, though. I'll give him that. But what I do say is that those are one or two calls. Faf's incident, I've watched that video so many times, I can't see that how that was a card. As a friend of mine likes to say, Faf can't go high, he can only go medium. So I'm not sure that was even worth a penalty. So I think the officials probably got that one right. You've got to ask yourself as well, I mean, for all the things the Lions complain about, and they complained a lot in this tour, you've got to ask yourself sort of what did the Springboks do? What could the Springboks have complained about? And they complained as well after that first Test, give them that. But in that second Test, there was a couple of biting allegations. There was Morrow Toje's knee on Damon Delender's neck. There was a bunch of incidents there that the Boks could have complained about as well, and they left it to the citing commissioner, and it didn't go any further. I was surprised at the Lions' tactics in the third Test. I think they were forced to change a bit with Finn Russell coming in for Dan Biggar so early. I didn't think they wanted to play that so early, but it probably made them a lot stronger, made their game plan a lot better. And to be honest, Finn Russell was probably the big difference in those three Tests for the Lions for me. He was the one player that stood out straight away when he came on. It's a pity he was injured in the first Test, and I think they probably should have played him, probably started with him in the third Test. But yeah, I mean, the Lions were also lucky there. That shot on Cheslin, I didn't think it was a red, but it could have easily been a yellow. Contact to the face. The referee decided in that third Test yesterday to give just a penalty. Yeah, there's little things, and the margins went for the Boks yesterday. But saying that, the Lions had their chances. They didn't take their chances. They camped in the Springboks half. The Springboks defence was exceptional. When you kick to the corner 5 times and you only get one reward once, there's not often that happens in any game, especially with a team with a good rolling maul. The Lions just couldn't score, and I think those were those little psychological battles was where the game swung. I think Trevor Nyakani's 2 penalties in the 75th and the 80th minute were absolutely crucial to the game, and I know there might be some debate about that, but I think Trevor's probably one of the big unsung heroes of this Test series for the Springboks. Morné Steyn got his fairy tale, and I'm very happy for him. There's, of course, as my colleague Simnikiwe, arms getting sore, as my colleague Simnikiwe Nabanisa pointed out on Twitter, Morné's nickname is Folly. For those of you who don't know, I get the bike past. For those who don't know, Folly is short for volstruis, which is an ostrich in Afrikaans. And the reason is because in Afrikaans they say hy het groot eiers, so he's got big eggs. You can translate that. I hope that translates well. And he certainly is the man for the moment. Geez, what a fairy tale ending. To beat the Lions twice in a series like that, like he did. Man, that's exceptional. Glad for him. Glad for everyone on that team. To me, my players of the series, it's a difficult one. I would say Maro Toji and Courtney Laws for the Lions. I thought Robbie Henshaw was probably one of the better players on the field all round. For the box, it was quite easy. I think Kanye Arm and Damon Delendo were rock solid in that midfield. Luat de Jager and Franklin Mostert, Evan Etzebeth, heart and soul of their team. When they were firing, nothing came past them. Kwagga Smith deserves a lot more credit after recovering from that first test. They were, and I think the biggest hero of them all was Sekou Kolisi. He really grew as a player for me in this test series as a captain. Exceptional human being, exceptional guy, and he showed it in his second and third test. So, with this beautiful background, as you can see, it's hard not to be happy on a Sunday morning. It's hard not to be happy about the Springboks victory. And while we didn't see the greatest rugby, I think there was a lot of lessons learned out of this. I think I'll do a separate video maybe on the rethink the Lions need to have. But I think it was a good tour. It was a very different tour. It's a tour we're never going to forget. We'll probably be hearing a bit of I'm not going to say whinging, but a bit of complaints from the Lions about some of the calls for the weeks to come. But the Test series is done and dusted. It was enjoyable. It was hard. It was tough. And the Lions are certainly an exceptional team. Warren Gatland's a good coach, but this Springbok side is something special. World champions, Lions beaters. They're still, in their minds, defending rugby championship champions, and that might change in the next couple of weeks. And they'll certainly have a few things to talk about. But it's it's been quite an exceptional few weeks on this tour. To my UK colleagues who might be watching this, hope the quarantine in France and wherever else you guys have to quarantine before going back is good. It was good to have you. I wish we could have had the normal tour drinks like we normally do, but COVID stopped all that. But anyway, that's it. Just going to tell you, that's not the best view. If you turn around here, you can just see what the view is like over here. So, not bad at all. For that, I'd say thanks. I'll do a video later on the Lions concept and how it should maybe be rethunk. But cheers and have a great Sunday.